Hi guys and welcome. This is Gears of the Dead and I'm bringing you a little bit different video. I'm actually going to be reading Creepypasta. If you don't know what Creepypasta is, it is a scary story someone makes up a lot of the times about video games as well. So I'm going to bring you a Pokemon one. That's probably why you can hear the Lavender Town theme right now. You know, it's a little cliche, everyone does it, but you know what, it's a Pokemon, so I figure, you know, Pokemon song, Pokemon video, why not? Alright. Now I'm going to bring you actually one of my favorite creepypastas, one that even scares me to this day, and it's just called Pokemon Black. So I hope you enjoy it. Alright, I got the story right here, I'm going to read it to you, and I hope you enjoy. Before I start, I must tell you that this isn't just another creepy story. This really happened. I was an intern at the studio where they used to develop the old Pokemon games, and while I was there, one of the developers gave me an old cartridge. He said that he didn't want it anymore because it was cursed, and that he'd bought it at a yard sale. Apparently, the guy he bought it off of found it in a bin with the note reading, "The game is never to be played," taped on it, and was selling it because he hadn't paid attention to the note and saw the horror of the copy of this game. After telling me that, the developer told me he hadn't bothered with the warning either and was also trying to pass on the game. I was fascinated by the story and foolishly accepted the cursed cartridge and then took it home. I took out my old Game Boy out from under my bed, put the cartridge in, and started playing. Minutes after playing, something seemed wrong. There was only one choice of Pokemon, a red-eyed black Pikachu named Demon. Strangely, I couldn't give it a nickname, but I decided Demon sounded pretty badass. Once I'd gone through the beginning part, I decided to head out and catch some Pokemon. I soon caught another Pokemon, a Pidgey, which I preferred because I was going to teach it Fly, and decided to call it Jimmy. Naturally, I began using Jimmy more than Demon. After playing for about 2 hours using Jimmy, a message came up telling me that Demon wants attention, but I ignored it. Another few hours later, while I was walking around Viridian City, a message came up saying Demon wants attention, and now Jimmy is gone. Upon reading Gone, I was very confused. And when I went to the Pokemon menu, as it said, Jimmy was gone. I left the Pokemon menu to go find another Pidgey, and what looked like an evolution screen came up. But instead of showing a Pokemon evolving, the message read, "Demon, do you love me now?" Showing the black Pikachu with bits of Jimmy attached to him. He had Pidgey's chest on his head and the wings on his back. Although it sent a shiver down my spine, I continued to play, thinking, what's the worst that could happen? But not wanting to upset him anymore, I started to use Demon. This had a very strange effect on the gameplay. Demon didn't use electricity attacks anymore. They were all dark attacks that would defeat the Pokemon in a single hit. As a Pokemon was defeated, instead of it fading, a message came up saying that the Pokemon had died. And after all the Pokemon died, the trainer had died. And to add to this, once the trainer battle had finished, the trainer disappeared. After a few battles, I went downstairs and searched Google for similar occurrences, and it seemed that a handful of people had come in contact with the same cartridge, all claiming that the same thing had happened. From these stories, it seemed that the same copy had circulated through the country, with each player either throwing it away or selling it. To add to the mystery and discomfort of reading these stories, there were posts on blogs and forums that everyone who had it had seemingly committed suicide shortly after ridding of the game. I came upstairs, took the cartridge out of my Game Boy, and thought about a way to get rid of it. Eventually, I settled on a way that would mean no one would ever play it again. I threw it into the fireplace downstairs. Once I was certain that the cartridge was gone, I found my copy of Pokemon Yellow to try to keep my mind off the cursed game, but keep the nostalgia going. I turned on the Game Boy, and a message came up saying, "Demon has escaped." I began to turn around, and my Game Boy made a very loud beeping sound. I jumped at the noise. I looked back at the screen to read a message saying, "Don't turn around." I stared at the Game Boy's screen, frozen with fear. Behind me, a quiet, high voice said, "Do you love me now?" I finished it, and it was a little scary for me. Was it scary for you? Tell me in the comments. Yes, this story was a little cliche, but I still enjoy it. I still tell the story to people to try to scare them, and it works sometimes. So tell me if I should do this again, because I only did this because I was bored. This is one of my bored videos. I feel like I'm going to do more bored videos. Tell me if you want more in the comments. Thanks.